This is Tim Rogers reporting for Time.com from Granada, Nicaragua. Central America for years has been a dumping ground for used T-shirts from the United States. The region is extremely poor and it's been hit over and over again with a string of natural disasters, from tidal waves in Nicaragua to earthquakes in El Salvador, Hurricane Mitch in 1998, and most recently Hurricane Felix, which devastated the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua last year. So there's a constant demand for inexpensive clothing here, and there's a constant flow of used T-shirts coming down from the United States to fill that need. While some of the clothing comes to Nicaragua directly through church donations and other charitable endeavors, most of the clothing that gets down to Nicaragua is actually black market clothing. This is Nicaraguans who go up to the United States, to Miami. They'll go to a Goodwill and they'll buy the clearance clothing there by the pound. These are the clothes that have been picked over and left behind on the racks. Then they'll ship a container of clothing back to Nicaragua, divide up the package, and resell it here. So the result on the street here is a rather hilarious living scrapbook of pop culture moments from the last 20 years. T-shirts with everything from "Where's the beef?" to "Avoid the Noid." Plus, I think just about every 5K fun run, fraternity event, and youth sports team from the last decade is somehow commemorated on a sports shirt somewhere in Central America. A lot of the T-shirts have messages written on them in English, and so the people wearing them either don't know what they say or don't care. I've seen a man wearing a T-shirt reading "World's Best Grandma," and another wearing one that said, "I'm not a bitch, I just suffer from permanent PMS." Sports T-shirts are also big here, and it doesn't seem to matter what sport team is represented, just so long as there's a mascot of some sort on the shirt. But for the villagers of San Gregorio de Riamba, they got a real treat last week when U.S. group World Vision, in conjunction with Reebok and the NFL, donated several hundred brand new, out-of-the-box New England Patriots Super Bowl champs T-shirts and hats that commemorated the Pats' perfect 19-0 season last year. Of course, the fact that the Pats lost the big game is the reason why these shirts were flicked off on Nicaragua rather than sold for $30 a pop at Dick's Sporting Goods. But Nicaraguans aren't complaining about the typo, and they're also not complaining about the fact that most of the shirts were 15 times too big for them. The batch of shirts that were originally sent down last week were the ones that were made for the players to wear on the field immediately after the game. So they were tailored for men who were 6'4", 310 pounds, and not children who are 3'8", 45 pounds. Needless to say, some of the shirts might actually get used as hammocks or ponchos rather than T-shirts, but they'll be appreciated all the same. While it's funny to see some of these used T-shirts walking around Central America, I don't mean to make light of the poverty that's fostered this situation. In addition to being a testament to the short shelf life of pop culture in the United States, the used shirts on people's backs here are also a real indicator of how bad off the economic situation is in countries like Nicaragua, where half the population can't afford to buy new clothes. Even those who consider themselves part of the small middle class here have a hard time shelling out $60 for a new pair of jeans, so they buy used clothes to save every centavo they can.